What's up, guys? And today I'm gonna be talking about the time that Spider-Man showed his identity to J. Jonah Jameson. Okay, guys, so when I get into this book is amazing, guys. I really gotta say that. I'm gonna put this on my comic rants playlist because I have so many good things to say for this. This is not really an action comic book per se, but it's more of a characterization comic book where you get to see character development. And so usually when we get into this issue, it usually starts off with some storyline or some action, but when we get into this is where J. Jonah Jameson is making food for Peter Parker, but Peter Parker is in the Spider-Man costume right now, and Peter Parker without the Spider-Man costume, he basically scheduled a time when Jameson can interview Spider-Man about Peter Parker's sister and how she's a convict and that she was an ex-agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. and that he just wants to know more about the case. And so Peter Parker made the deal that if you get the interview with Spider-Man, then you don't post anything on your blog. Because you guys got to remember that J. Jonah Jameson lost his job at the Daily Bugle because the Daily Bugle was bought by these buyers. And so he basically does his blog, but he has promised and swore that he will not post on his blog. But we get into that, and he's trying to feed Spider-Man some lasagna, and J. Jonah Jameson is telling him what he knows, and they're basically going back and forth, arguing, and Spider-Man is about to leave, but then he says, "Your Honor, your oath, because you said you promised that you would go down and talk your side of the story." And so he continues to talk to Spider-Man, and Spider-Man's finally eating J. Jonah Jameson's food, and instead of thinking that it's poison. And Spider-Man walks out. He actually sits back down, and he's trying to tell him what he knows. And basically, Spider-Man is saying, telling him, before he can even tell his side of the story, that J. Jonah Jameson has always tried to see Spider-Man fall. And J. Jonah Jameson says he remembers seeing Spider-Man the time that when he was a wrestler. And that was actually part of Spider-Man's origin. Before he even became a superhero, he was a wrestler. So, he said, "You're a coward." And basically, he said, "I actually got used to you being a hero." But then he says, "No, you didn't, because you remember you actually made the Scorpion. You actually tried to kill me countless of times." And then basically, he tells Spider-Man about his girlfriend in the earlier years, and how he lost his girlfriend to a guy in a mask. And basically, he continued to pursue this guy in the mask, and his girlfriend ended up dying. And then he also is talking more to Spider-Man, arguing and bickering, and then he's like, just leave, because he says, "I know you are supposed to save lives, but you couldn't be there to save his wife's life." And it shows Spider-Man punching out Alistair Smythe, and then his wife came back to him as a clone, and then she was taken away from him. And so J. Jonah Jameson is really just breaking down here. Really, he's sad because he's lost everything, and really Spider-Man is scared for him. You guys gotta remember that Jameson's wife actually said for him to not blame Spider-Man, to not blame Alistair Smythe, and that he should to stop blaming people and to finally just accept it. But J. Jonah Jameson, with that fact in mind, he blamed himself of that, and that it's his fault that his wife has died and not Spider-Man's. And guys, that's a really important part of J. Jonah Jameson's history now throughout the comics, because J. Jonah Jameson has actually throughout the times always been blaming it on Spider-Man, always been blaming it on the masked man. And it was a part where we got to see J. Jonah Jameson finally owning up for his faults in life. But just with the spiritual connection, J. Jonah Jameson is sad that he's lost his wife, and that he feels like he has no meaning. The only reason why he thinks he still has meaning is because of his blog, but that's just my spiritual connection. Peter Parker has had such a history with J. Jonah Jameson and working for him and everything. And so, J. Jonah Jameson just says, get out. And he says, no, get out, please. I'm tired of this game. It's gone on too long, and you're your family. You think nobody cares about you, but I do. I care. You think you're all alone? What are you? And Peter Parker pulls off his mask and he says, you're not. And he reveals his identity to J. Jonah Jameson. But then Peter Parker gets mad because he finds out that he had put on his blog that he was going to interview Spider-Man, and already the FBI was looking for Spider-Man at this time. And so he goes out, puts on a mask, and he says, I'm trusting you, Jonah. And he goes out, and the cops come in, and he repeats saying, you trust me, you trust me. And cops go over and to Peter Parker's apartment, and they see Peter Parker has gone to his apartment just to go get his sister. And we know that the next issue is going to be Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 297. Guys, I really like to give this book a 9 out of 10 on the characterization in this book and the dialogue. And I would like to say, what are your thoughts on this issue, guys? Also, pick up this book. This is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, number 6. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And make sure to subscribe, give a like, and also remember that I do weekly comic book reviews, comic rants, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.